The workshop's next evolution, designing enhanced firearms. With their first major weapon, the silver dagger imbued with the power of the Starlight Gem, successfully crafted, Gunnar and Eli knew they had only scratched the surface of what they could achieve in their workshop. The world was filled with more dangerous creatures, monsters, demons, and beings that would require more than just blades and shields to defeat. Gunnar, ever the strategist, envisioned the next step, creating firearms capable of channeling both modern technology and ancient magic. "Gunnar, what's on your mind?" Eli asked one evening, noticing his contemplative expression as they worked on reinforcing the workshop's walls with runes of protection. "We've made a powerful weapon in the dagger," Gunnar began, his voice thoughtful. "But we need something with more range and firepower. We need to combine our magic with advanced technology, something that can strike from afar and still deliver the power to vanquish even the strongest demons." Eli tilted her head, intrigued. "You're talking about firearms, but not just any firearms, right? You're thinking of something futuristic?" Gunnar nodded. "Exactly. A rifle that can fire enchanted rounds, with a launcher capable of delivering explosive magic. A weapon that blends the precision of a sniper with the devastating impact of a rocket launcher." Eli's eyes lit up with excitement. "That sounds incredible, but it will require precise engineering and the perfect blend of materials. We'll need to experiment with different alloys and infuse them with the right enchantments to withstand the energy of both the Starlight Gem and modern ammunition." Gunnar smiled, appreciating her enthusiasm. "Then let's get started. Designing the futuristic rifle." The first step was to design the rifle itself. Gunnar sketched out the basic concept: a sleek, futuristic rifle with a long barrel for accuracy, a sturdy stock for stability, and a tactical grip for maneuverability. At the underside of the barrel, they would mount a 40mm launcher capable of firing enchanted grenades, small orbs of explosive energy that could devastate anything in their path. Eli's task was to create the ammunition. She began by experimenting with different metals, combining silver, iron, and a rare mineral she had discovered in the caverns, starsteel, a metal known for its ability to channel magical energy without breaking. Each bullet had to be capable of carrying both physical force and magical power. "We'll need to engrave runes on each round," Eli explained, as she carefully inscribed tiny symbols onto the casings of the bullets. "These runes will allow the bullets to pierce through the toughest hide or armor and deliver a powerful magical impact upon contact." For the 40-minute launcher, Eli crafted special orbs filled with alchemical mixtures that would react explosively when triggered. These orbs were also infused with the essence of the Starlight Gem, making each explosion not only destructive, but also imbued with a light that could burn away darkness and evil. "We should test the rifle first," Gunnar suggested once the initial prototype was ready. The rifle was a work of art, sleek yet powerful, with a barrel that glimmered faintly with the magic embedded within it. Testing the weapon. They took the rifle to a remote part of the forest, far from any prying eyes. Gunnar set up targets at various distances, thick logs representing monstrous hides, boulders for demons' stony skin, and enchanted shields to simulate magical barriers. Gunnar loaded the first magazine, filled with Eli's enchanted rounds. He aimed carefully, feeling the balance of the weapon, and pulled the trigger. The rifle fired with a sharp crack, and the bullet flew straight and true, piercing through the thick log as though it were paper. Upon impact, a burst of light exploded from the point of entry, burning through the target. "Perfect," Gunnar murmured, satisfied with the result. Next, he aimed at a boulder. The bullet struck, and the enchanted runes activated, causing the stone to crack and shatter. The rifle's power was undeniable, but they still had to test the launcher. Gunnar switched to the 40mm launcher and loaded one of Eli's explosive orbs. He aimed at a larger boulder, one they knew would be difficult to destroy through conventional means. When he fired, The orb sailed through the air and struck the target with a resounding impact. The explosion that followed was magnificent, an eruption of light and energy that reduced the boulder to rubble and left a smoking crater in its place. Eli clapped her hands in excitement. "It works even better than I imagined. The launcher is perfect for taking out larger targets or groups of enemies." Gunnar lowered the rifle, his expression one of grim satisfaction. "This will give us the firepower we need to fight on our terms, but we need to ensure it's reliable in any situation, against any foe." Finalizing the weapon and preparing for battle. Over the next few weeks, Gunnar and Eli refined the design. They added an energy stabilization system to prevent the rifle from overheating during extended use, reinforced the launcher to handle more powerful explosives, and created a variety of specialized rounds for different types of enemies. One of their innovations was the creation of light rounds, bullets that, when fired, released a burst of blinding light. These were designed to disorient enemies, giving Gunnar and Eli a tactical advantage. Another was the shatter rounds, designed to break through the toughest magical shields before delivering a devastating explosive charge. The final touch was to engrave the rifle itself with protective runes, ensuring it would not be corrupted by the energy it wielded. Eli carefully inscribed the symbols along the barrel and stock, while Gunnar imbued the weapon with a bit of his own spirit, ensuring it would only respond to his commands. When the weapon was finally complete, Gunnar and Eli stood back to admire their work. The rifle, now named the Starbreaker, was a masterpiece, a perfect fusion of magic and technology, designed to fight the darkest evils. "Are you ready, Eli?" Gunnar asked, his voice steady with determination. Eli nodded, her eyes glowing with confidence. "With this weapon, we can take on anything." Into the fray. Armed with the Starbreaker, Gunnar and Eli set out on their mission to cleanse the world of the evil that plagued it. The rifle proved invaluable in battle, its powerful rounds taking down even the most formidable of foes. The launcher's explosive orbs decimated hordes of monsters, while the rifle's precision rounds ensured that no enemy could hide from its deadly reach. As they travelled from one battleground to another, stories of the Starbreaker and its wielders spread across the land. The sight of Gunnar with his futuristic rifle and Eli with her alchemical prowess became a symbol of hope for those oppressed by darkness. But their journey was far from over. They knew that greater challenges lay ahead, foes that would test the limits of their creations and their resolve. Yet, with the Starbreaker in hand, and their bond stronger than ever, Gunnar and Eli were ready to face whatever the future held. Together they would continue to build, to innovate, and to fight, forging weapons of light and fire that would banish the shadows from the world. And, in the end, they would stand victorious, the darkness finally defeated, and the world safe for future generations. The air was thick with anticipation as Gunnar and Eli stood in the heart of their workshop, the walls adorned with the weapons they had forged together. The time had come for Gunnar to face his greatest challenge yet, the Demon King Ultranacious Eternus. The name itself was spoken in whispers, a harbinger of death and destruction. This was the being that had claimed the lives of Gunnar's former comrades, and now the weight of vengeance and justice lay squarely on his shoulders. Eli watched as Gunnar prepared the Starbreaker, checking each component meticulously, ensuring everything was in perfect working order. She could sense the tension in the air, the quiet determination that radiated from him. But there was something else too, a deep, personal resolve that made her heart ache. "Gunnar," Eli began, her voice soft but insistent, "I know how much this fight means to you, but we've always fought together. You don't have to do this alone." Gunnar paused, his hands stilling over the rifle's stock. He looked up at Eli, his eyes filled with a mix of gratitude and sorrow. "Eli, I appreciate everything we've done together. You've been the best partner I could have asked for, and you've helped me more than you know." He sighed, placing the Starbreaker down gently on the workbench. But this fight, it's different. Eli frowned, stepping closer to him. Why? We've faced powerful enemies before. What makes this one different? Gunner's jaw tightened, and for a moment, he seemed to struggle with the words. Ultranacious Eternus is no ordinary demon. He's not just powerful, he's relentless, cunning, and merciless. He's the one responsible for the deaths of my team, of my friends. His voice wavered slightly as memories flooded back. They were like family to me. We fought side by side, and he tore them apart, one by one. I wasn't strong enough then to protect them, but I swore that I would be the one to end him. This is personal, Eli. I have to face him alone. Eli's heart sank as she listened to Gunner's words. She could feel the pain in his voice, the heavy burden he carried. She wanted to argue, to insist that they could face this together, but deep down, she understood. This was a battle that Gunner needed to fight on his own terms. I know you want to protect me, Eli said softly, her eyes meeting his. But you're not the same person you were back then. You've grown stronger, and you're not alone anymore. We've built something here, something powerful. I believe in you, Gunner. But if you truly feel you need to do this alone, I won't stop you. Gunner reached out, placing a hand on her shoulder. Thank you, Eli. You've been my strength when I had none. But this is something I have to do for myself and for them. If I don't finish this, their deaths will haunt me forever. Eli nodded, though her heart ached with the thought of him going into such danger alone. Promise me you'll come back, she whispered, her voice breaking slightly. Promise me you won't let him take you too. Gunner gave her a solemn nod. I promise. I'll come back. And when I do, we'll continue our work. Together. She stepped back, watching as he gathered his gear. The Starbreaker, now glowing faintly with the energy of the Starlight Gem, was strapped securely to his back. Gunner checked his ammunition, the enchanted rounds and explosive orbs that had become their signature in battle. Every detail was attended to with the precision of someone who knew the stakes were higher than they had ever been. Before he left, Gunner turned to Eli one last time. Keep the workshop safe. If anything happens, if I don't make it back— Don't say that, Eli interrupted, her eyes flashing with determination. You will come back. I believe in you, Gunner, and I'll be waiting right here. He gave her a final grateful smile, one that conveyed more than words ever could. Then, without another word, Gunner turned and left the workshop, the door closing behind him with a heavy finality.